Well, it's quite shocking if you had believed all the things that PGA Tour and its commissioner had said about LIV Golf and had said about the prospect of having a Saudi government-owned major sports entity in the United States. But clearly all of those concerns have fallen away under the weight of Mohammed bin Salman's unlimited pool of petrodollars.
Yes, it's to your point, this new tour is going to fall under the Saudi Public Investment Fund. Do you think this basically gives the Saudis the upper hand in this new tour?
Well, I think it's important to understand that the Public Investment Fund is itself a cover. The Public Investment Fund is itself Mohammed bin Salman's personal kitty. He is the chairman of the fund, and he has overridden decisions of the board of the fund to make investments that he wants, including, for example, $2 billion investment in Jared Kushner's investment fund. So really what this means is that everyone who works for PGA Golf, as well as now, of course, LIV Golf, is effectively working for Mohammed bin Salman. He is their boss.
And to that point, PGA players are reportedly furious. Many of them, including Tiger Woods, have taken a strong stand against being associated with Saudi Arabia. And now this decision has been taken without any consultation with the players that have stayed outside of the LIV tournament.
I mean, that's right. And really one has to wonder what it is that the decision makers at PGA Tour were thinking about other than their own personal pocketbooks. The fact of the matter is that this is a very naked and blunt effort by Saudi Arabia, not only to sports wash its terrible record, its terrible human rights image, but it wants to have influence and control so that should those abuses continue as they are, should they become internationally renowned and exposed, people in the United States, companies in the United States won't be able to sell off their assets and walk away the way they did very briefly when Jamal Khashoggi was murdered.
Yes.
This is an ongoing effort to infiltrate into the economy and politics of the United States.
So in a sense, sport is compromising far more than just the players themselves.
Well, that's right. I mean, this is not just a random investment in sport. It is part of a multi-tiered, very broadly spread infiltration of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman's personal control, significant control into major chunks of the American economy. It's not just sports. It's in tech. It's in finance. It's in entertainment. It's in a vast swath of the American economy. And even more distressingly, his investments are in American political leaders, American military leaders, whom his government is buying off with eye-popping salaries at levels that are unprecedented, that has never been seen before in American history. To have over 500 former senior American military officials now on the payroll of Saudi Arabia and the UAE compromises the very integrity of our democracy and the decision-making that our government officials, military and civilian, are elected and appointed to carry out.
I noticed too that the 9/11 families have also responded with dismay. I imagine that would not surprise you either. We remember too when Joe Biden visited Saudi, that famous fist bump that he had. It does feel though that despite all these sort of intertwinings, the world is aware that the Saudis have a lot to answer for.
I mean, the world is aware that the Saudis have a lot to answer for, but most governments in the world are more interested in their pocketbooks, the pocketbooks, I should say, of their corporate arms dealers. I mean, we have to recognize that Saudi Arabia is America's largest weapons client purchaser in the world. And countries around the world, including Italy and Canada most recently, are falling over themselves to get in line to be able to absorb some of those Saudi dollars into their own corporations and their own corporate profits. This doesn't necessarily benefit the people of the United States or Italy or Canada or where else weapons are being sold from. But it does create an incentive system that rewards government officials who develop closer ties with this brutal authoritarian regime.
Yeah. Sarah, appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much.